What up, you guys? This is Andrea 3 Stacks, and you're tuned in to a new episode of Overly Conversated on the delicious vinyl station powered by Dash Radio. Today, man, it is with a very heavy heart to be doing this episode dedicated. We are suffering one of the greatest losses right now, not just in LA, but around the world. We have lost Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, and RIP to everybody else in the helicopter crash. So today we are going to continue speaking about his legacy, what he meant to hip hop, and a little bit about his short-lived rap career. So let's introduce everybody.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Santino McDonald.
We're doing it serious.
Serious.
No, but I'm Victoria Hernandez.
I'm Reek, R33KZ.
Yeah, man, this week has been so heavy. I work by the Staples Center and I just can't even go over there, but I've been seeing this stuff on social. It's been insane. I can't even believe it. It just feels like we're in an alternate universe. Like, he was literally my favorite player of all time. Like, I'm a Laker fan for real. And my dad said it best. It's like, Kobe was a part of our family. I don't want to cry, but fuck.
No, it's been a hard week. Like, even just being on social media, like, I've had to put my phone down so many times because I just, like, it's a lot. It's a lot to process. And
I'm kind of glad I'm not on social. For that reason alone. Like, I was on social when Nip died last year, and I just had to keep seeing, everything show up. But, I hooped for a really long time. And Kobe, not even as far as hooping goes, but I think what at least that I gravitated towards with Kobe was, everybody looks at what he's done for the basketball team, but I always with people that I guess I look up to or inspire me, I always look past that just to see what their mentality is going into achieving greatness. Because greatness is something you got to step into. It's a presence. You just can't be great. And his work ethic, his work ethic is unmatched. I mean, the only other person I say who probably has his work ethic is Michael Jordan. And but Kobe was just a different what does he always say? He's just a different animal, same beast.
Mm-hmm.
Different animal, but the same.
He's just different. And what I appreciate about him is if you're working on your craft and you really love something, you start paying attention to other things to help improve what you really do. And music was one of his outlets. And it's funny because I was just watching an interview he did at USC, and he was telling people that he had rolled his ankle in one game, and he said he needed to get his feet stronger. So he went and took a tap dancing class for a year to get his feet stronger. And because he said he didn't want to roll his ankle. No, he said Jalen Rose undercut him. That's what he said. He said Jalen Rose undercut me. He didn't want to admit it. He said, but he's starting to admit it now. And but he took tap dancing, things like that. I feel like you really do want to be the best at your craft when you go into other fields to improve what you're working on. And tap dancing, bro, I've never heard of a basketball player do that.
Tupac used to do ballet.
Right, but see, how great was Tupac?
Kobe a GOAT, man. Hands down, a GOAT.
So,
and he would outwork everybody.
Right.
People would show up and he'd be like, I'm here. And then he would make it a point to stay until they left to be like, yep, I was still there when you left.
first one in, last one
Yeah.
out.
He was so freaking tight. So let's talk about how he's a part of hip-hop culture. You guys hear his album or hear about the album
that was shelved?
Sony. He was signed to Sony. The album was called Visions. He had the single with Tyra Banks, Kobe.
Also, wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that it was a Sony deal? But also, didn't Sprite have something to do with that too?
It might have. He
think
was in
he
the
did a
commercial with
commercial
Missy
with
and Tim
Sprite,
Duncan,
yeah.
and he was rapping in it. And I actually posted that on my little other account before he passed because that shit was amazing in my eyes.
I mean,
Roby.
He dated Brandy,
Yeah, that's something a rapper would do, right?
Right.
Dreams of fucking an R&B bitch. Kobe dated Brandy.
He dated Brandy.
Oh man.
out
Wasn't he in a
there.
Destiny's Child video too?
He
He
was
was.
on the
And he
Say
did
My
the
Name
Say My Name
remix.
Remix.
Oh,
He was
oh,
on
he
the
rapped
remix.
on there, huh?
Yes, he did.
His enunciation.
And
was
low-key, I
very,
think he
like,
dated Beyonce because, like, he was hooping against Matthew Knowles, her father, and there's footage of him, and, like, he let him, like, have a shot.
Because he
And
was dating his daughter.
I don't know. That's a rumor. I don't
Uh-huh.
fully know that, but he
Hmm.
definitely was. I mean, he was doing stuff with Beyonce. They were actually on his album that was shelved. It was a song called "Baby, Baby, Baby." I looked it up. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I had no idea. I was just delving into all of the things that were supposed to come out, and it's pretty crazy because one of the producers, he had a choice to work with Timbaland, Premier, Swizz, and he turned that shit down.
Oh, shit.
He's like, I want to keep this in like my Philly people. So he had his friend Russell Howard produce the album.
Mm.
Russell Howard, he introduced Russell Howard to Jay-Z on the set of the Heartbreaker video. And then
That's
Russell did
nuts.
shit for Jay on Volume 3.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
He ended up helping his friend out like that,
Kobe's
and
the
then he had
plug.
his other friend write the video treatment for the KOBE song. Hype Williams directed
Did
it.
that,
I
yup.
never seen the whole thing. I've seen a little snippet, but that ended up being amazing because those two, the producer Russell and the other dude who wrote the treatment, ended up making their own company, and their, what is it called? I wrote it down here. It's called like, oh, shit, I didn't write it down. Such a fail. It was like Sound Something, but they're still like doing music for movies and all these other productions, and it's all thanks to Kobe. Like
Kobe.
really sticking to trying to help his friends out,
Yeah.
which is super commendable.
That's super fucking cool.
Right?
I-
I was just like
that's
shook
super
reading all
fucking
that. They have their own company now, and they still like use the fact that they're like, oh yeah, we've worked with Jay-Z is obviously still a huge selling point. They did what did Russell do on that album? What's the song Volume 3? S. Carter,
Right.
and then the Murder joint. Why can't I think of it? It has murder in the title.
So his friend produced those.
Yeah,
That's fire.
That's pretty dope.
I never knew that.
I was delving into this. I was like,
you went deep.
So
You
excited.
dug.
I just kept reading. I was like, Kobe
Yeah,
really was
no,
hip
there's
hop.
layers
Yeah.
of- And didn't he got 50 Cent and
The Nas, Thug
on
Poet.
his- Yeah.
Thug Poet.
Uh-huh.
He has a song called Thug
That's-
Poet.
uh-huh.
Just a little snippet. I heard that too, and I was like, I had no idea him and
He
Fitty
has
had a
some
song
street
together.
cred. He has some.
And between him and Shaq Diesel, like they're the ones who kind of
3 Times Dope. They had that
Mhm.
song.
they were the ones who kind of pioneered these like basketball players like being able like at least leaving it
I
cool to
think
rap
that
almost
era-
like kind of breaking that in like we gonna rap, forget about it. Now you got Damian Lillard and
Your favorite.
that's her favorite.
No, who's the dude?
Who did you like?
The
Iman
Ball.
Shumpert?
Oh, Lonzo
Lonzo
Ball.
Ball.
He really thinks Lonzo
I
Ball
blank
can
out
rap, you
right
guys.
Hey, yo, Lonzo Ball got bars. I don't want to
Mr.
hear nothing
Ball.
about it.
Oh, no.
Senor Ball.
Well, I think too a big thing was like he got drafted the same year as Allen Iverson,
Yes,
and
sir.
like Allen Iverson. Not that Kobe wasn't hip hop, because he obviously was, but Allen Iverson even kind of paved the way, just in the way he like embodied hip hop so boldly. And then Kobe came in too. He was kind of the I can't think of the word, but he was more accepted, so he was able to pave the way for, in a way that AI maybe was stunted. Kobe could elevate that hip hopness that was shut down, that Allen Iverson. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
hear
not
where,
good
I
at
hear where you're trying to
talking.
go.
I'm a writer.
I'm
We
a
all
writer.
say that. Me and Vic are like, it's so much easier to write than speak things sometimes. It's like I have more
my
time
Damian
to think
Lillard
about
It was
it.
easier for them to accept Kobe than it was Allen Iverson because he
Yeah,
wasn't as
that's
rough
what I
around
was
the
trying to
edges
say.
like Allen Iverson was.
Yeah. Allen Iverson was just a dope boy on the court. low-key.
Right.
Like, that shit was crazy.
I also think what Kobe brought to the, I guess energy he brought to hip hop was competitive, and
Mhm.
hip hop is competitive,
Mhm.
and one of my favorite songs is by Lil Wayne. It's called Kobe Bryant,
Mhm.
and this is when Wayne was scorching, and Wayne and then Kobe and them. This is probably 08. This is back when I think they had the back-to-back against the Celtics.
They had 3 straight championships,
The
and then Lakers
three-peat.
Celtics was like in 2 and 3
3,
years.
yeah. So I think he also just helped usher in like a friend, like just you could be competitive but still be cool with everybody, and I think it was cool how hip hop embraced that. And you know, like I said at the time, Wayne was scorching, and he made the song Kobe Bryant, kind of comparing himself to like being Kobe at the time, and I thought that was dope. Like I mean, that's one of my favorite songs now. Like I always go back and play that song, and I remember they had asked Kobe. I feel like he was in an interview or something like that, and it was like, "Did you hear Lil Wayne's Kobe Bryant song? What'd you think?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I heard it. It was hot."
Oh man. Yeah,
Going back to go
Oh
ahead.
no, go ahead. You're good.
You sure?
Yeah.
I was gonna just do another fact about the album why it got shelved. Unfortunately, like Kobe was a big like Biggie fan, Tupac fan, Tribe. He like Woo and all that, and so it was actually pretty gritty and rough. But then the label heard it and they're like, nah, like we want it to be more like Will
Poppy.
Smith getting
Poppy.
jiggy with it.
Yeah.
So who knows like how it really would have sounded like.
Damn,
It was that time.
that's interesting.
No, but I heard
No,
like
I'm
he
curious,
low-key
like,
could
Kobe rapping
actually
about
like
hitting
rap.
licks and shit. That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I
he's
think-
go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just yeah, one of my homies, Aaron Williams, wrote a piece for Uprocks that kind of explained that too. Like Kobe wanted to do this kind of cerebral style that just wasn't popping in that day. And he pointed out too that like there was no social media at that time. So there wasn't the separation of like the basketball player and your personal brand.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like even just in general, Kobe like was from Philly. He was from a decent family, like, and that's maybe not your traditional hip hop story. But he was able to be that champion and that personal hero that made everybody love him and celebrate him and paved the way for hip hop to broaden in a way that hadn't been done before. So
Right.
yeah.
I mean, if you watch that his last game when he dropped 60, which is still like incredible. That game is
Cried.
funny to me because that's the game where you see Snoop Dogg with the phone dancing. Like,
Yes, he was such a
Like,
huge fan.
that's also
He gave him a car.
right.
He gave him a fucking
Car.
car, a lowrider when he retired.
Oh,
I
man.
love
Jay-Z was there, Kanye was there, like, you know, he had all these relationships. I mean, you're starting to see it too. I mean, they've been talking about all these basketball players he reached out to. He was cool with all the rappers. Like,
Yeah.
he was always reaching out to all the rappers, and just that, you know, the fact that he was able to embed himself into two cultures like that and still just, you know, obviously focus on playing ball. But I mean, last game, all the industry was there, like, just to see his last game, and you know, that says a lot in itself right there. Like, just to see how many people he touched while he was here, and you know, I think I've been to a lot of funerals, and I mean, I had like 3 this week. But I think what hurt me the most about that was his daughter's not gonna get a chance. We're not gonna get a chance to see her become great. I think that's the part that like really bothers me. Like, damn, like she was already on her way as a 13-year-old, and you know, low key becoming a new face for women's basketball. Like, he was actually had her on the pedestal, like in a platform. You're watching her grow up, and people are gonna start being excited about women's basketball again, just because he put her there. And you know, it just sucks that it was cut so short. We're not gonna get a chance to see like her reach those levels. So
I know that footage, like right before he passed, where he was just like showing her the ropes of the game. Like,
Right.
I was like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
potential. Like,
Mm-hmm.
WNBA for sure. Can't wait to see it.
Right.
And it was just shocking. I don't think we've ever lost a sports icon like this. Like Michael Jordan.
In
Like,
this
I
way.
can't think of
And such
anyone
an-
like
and-
Bill
Yeah.
Russell. You know what I'm saying?
Bill
Like, I
Russell.
consider him to be Coach Kobe, a commentator. He won a fucking Oscar. Like,
he won
he
by the
won
way,
a
this
fucking
dude won an
Oscar.
Oscar. So in my head, I say he won 6 rings. Like, he didn't get the championship 6th one, but no other basketball player has the Oscar, bro.
Nobody,
Yeah.
man.
3-6
That
Mafia has an Oscar.
Yeah, and had an Oscar as well. But like Kobe, I was so fucking happy that night. I was
Right.
like, he's one of the goats.
So I mean,
Undebatable now.
that's 6 rings to me. Like, You won 5 and then you got an Oscar. Like, you got 6 rings, bro.
Honestly, though.
No,
What were you gonna say? Sorry, I cut you off. Santino.
I don't think I was gonna say anything.
I thought he was.
He looked at
He's
me.
gonna chime in.
No, for me, like, I grew up a Celtics fan, and like, obviously, like, oh, you.
I'm making
hate
the face
the-
that Santino
I was
made,
about to
y'all.
be. I was about to boo her like boo.
It's very nice to say as a Celtics fan. Like, he really elevated the game, and like
Facts.
he made it fun. You know, like back in the day, there was Bird and Johnson, and like, you know, even you said Bill
Paul
Russell.
Pierce,
Like, yeah, Paul Pierce,
KG,
Ray Allen,
Rondo, who's on the Lakers now.
Rondo. We need to talk- no, I'm just kidding. No, but just Kobe made that rivalry fun, and he elevated the game, and like, nothing but respect for like a true legend of basketball.
He had a funny story, bro. He was talking about going to Boston and losing that championship to
Mhm.
Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and he said they played Journey. You know,
Mm.
don't stop.
Believe me,
And he
yeah.
said he hated. He was like, I hated that fucking song. He said so. He said so. I played it for a year straight to always put me
Oh.
back in the mentality of being in that arena and losing those games. I said, you played this shit for a year. They said, and then they said his daughters, he would wake up, and if his daughters heard it playing, they were just like, Dad's in his zone, don't bother him. And he would just play that song, and there was another band. Welcome to Boston is the song.
Is it Sweet Caroline?
No, the
No?
Switch Kick. What is it called? I can't think of the name of the
I don't
band.
know.
But he was just like the fact that he even played those songs
He
to
was so-
mentally put himself back into those like environments, so he could
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're playing Journey.
And then he said
did
at
it to
the end
himself.
of all that, when they won the championship, he was like, man, I just imagine sitting there. He said he was talking to, who was he talking to? Oh, he's talking to Ron Artest, who was randomly at the Dash Radio, whatever.
Yeah, I was really happy to meet him, and I was
Yeah,
like, I
he's
can't wait
so
for the day I meet
cool.
Kobe. And then it was so fucking weird.
Weird.
That was like foreshadowing. And then at Vic's event, when that night of the fucking fog, there was a TV screen. It was showing like Shaq and Kobe doc, and I kept looking
It
back at it.
was.
You remember that?
It was
You remember? And I kept saying, "Oh, those are the good old days."
and it was foggy as
I was
Yeah,
gonna say the
that
weekend it happened, it was very gloomy as well. Like that's interesting.
It was
That is
foreshadowing,
interesting.
and I even said that looks like a creepy ass fog.
It was.
I said that
Nah,
shit.
it was super foggy. That whole weekend, that
Yeah,
Friday,
the whole
that-
weekend it was like foggy and cloudy.
It was
I was
so
coming
weird.
home and I remember I couldn't even see.
Barely see.
I couldn't even see.
Yeah,
like,
I almost got into an accident.
yeah.
I
That's
had to grip the
tight.
grain and swerve that shit one
No,
time, bro.
you
Like
gripping the
that shit was
grain.
bad. That shit was not good.
Oh.
But yeah, man. I mean, just I feel like that initial shock of we weren't like it was just out of the blue, kind of like you wake up and it's like I got a text message like, what, Kobe's dead? Like,
I didn't even believe that shit.
what? I sent it to one of my little homies. He was like, these niggas is lying.
Yeah, I didn't believe that.
Like just respond. These niggas is lying. I was like, nah, bro. It's everywhere, bro. Like,
It's denial.
So yeah, man. I don't know. It just, you know, this podcast is in LA. You know,
Please understand.
we bleed purple and gold for sure. Besides
Not
her.
her.
I like purple. Look, I wore my purple hoodie just for Kobe. Just for
You
Kobe.
low key notice it still got some green in here though.
It's like, but I'm still representing
It's
Celtics.
purple. It's purple.
LA is just
No, LA is.
it's a
it's
weird ass
special
vibe.
place and
Everything.
everything is
The
really
bus.
heavy right now.
I saw the
bus,
building
the
near my
metro.
house, purple and yellow.
Mm.
Everything is. It's like we respected him so much. He was LA. It was such a loss because he like was LA. We repped him so hard.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say because like I actually don't. I think out of everybody here, like
You
I
don't
watched
even
at
watch
least
sports.
I don't watch sports like at all, but the fact of the matter is that like this man was so much bigger than sports. Like he was beyond. Like he transcended to the point where like you couldn't go anywhere without hearing his name. Rappers were name dropping him. He was the talk. He was on everybody's mouth. Either you loved him or you hated him. Like people were just constantly talking about him, and he was just held so high on like that LA pedestal. Like he was the city.
Right.
People would
He could have been the
people-
mayor. Like
I wish that would be
People would've
amazing.
voted for him.
people would come visit Los Angeles for two reasons. They want to experience an earthquake, or they want to see Kobe Bryant
play. Yeah.
Like that was a lot of people that was unless you want to go on to Disneyland or something.
All the foreign exchange students when they
I
come
run
over.
into him there.
All the foreign exchange students when they come over, they got a Kobe jersey.
Yeah, they
on.
got a
Yeah,
Kobe
that's
jersey.
facts,
Can't speak a lick of
yeah.
English, but they got a Kobe jersey on. That
Aw.
shit is crazy. He was like I said, he just transcended all that, and living in LA for the past 5 years really showed how much of an icon this man was. How heavy people held him to a regard, because like you said, like I woke up the next morning to hop on the bus to get to school, and it was like Rip Kobe. Like every single bus I saw for a transfer was like Rip Kobe, and I was like, damn, to the point where it was like public transportation is shouting him out, like. And I live right next to the Forum, and the whole thing is lit up purple and gold, and usually they got like a slideshow on their jumbotron of like, oh, who's performing next. None of that.
It was just
It's
Kobe.
it's a slideshow of a bunch of Kobe moments, and then the last image is like a giant 24 purple background gold numbers and that shit. Yeah, it's definitely a weird energy, like something that I haven't felt on such a grand scale. Like no matter where I go, no matter what I try to do, it's just like this weird energy that like something is missing. Something is gone, and everybody that's out here is feeling it.
Right.
Whether they want to or they don't,
Right.
they're feeling it. Cause I know I am, and I don't even watch sports.
I was just gonna say, like, I think it's actually had a somewhat of a good impact. Like this one dude I see like every day, always like in a stank ass mood. I smile at him, I say good morning, and he's just like brushes me off. Like an older dude, right? And after he passed, he had like this big ass 24 jersey, and like I wasn't even like trying to be all friendly that day. I was sad and somber, and he actually smiled at me, and like I don't know, it was just like. You could tell, I think, like, it kind of put life in perspective, and he's, like, being kinder now. It's just, like, nobody's promised another day. And you always talk shit that I take photos with people. That's exactly why I do it. You don't know when somebody's not going to be here.
She using it as a cover for being a...
No, like, honestly, I know my mortality. I've been in situations where it's, like, I don't even know why I'm still here. Like, I've been through it, man. I've damn near died. Like, that shit is no joke.
Yeah.
And, like, something
feel
like
that.
this happens, it just reminds you, like,
Yeah,
you have to, like, do right. You need to be close to your loved ones. You really, you can't take people for granted. I know that's cliche as fuck, but you can't.
Well, I also think it's just, like, you should give people their flowers while they can still smell them, which is why I'm always telling people, like, I tell y'all, I'm like, y'all are legendary for what y'all do already. Like, whether the world knows it or doesn't, if you're doing something that somebody from your hometown or even your household hasn't done, you already a legend, bro. Like, and I think, you know, I feel like he got, you know, like I said, I feel like was he 43, 42? 41. I mean, you know, I feel like he was allowed to get we gave him his flowers for sports, but the part that kind of is always another part that sucks about his death is he was getting ready to start his second run on the entertainment side. Like the homie got an Oscar. He wasn't even done yet. And the fact that he was starting to use like his creative side, I was low-key excited to see what he was going to do. Unlike Jordan, who got the little crying emoji, you know, because he couldn't do anything.
in trash-ass jeans.
Oh my God, he's a legend too.
I'm not going to, right, I ain't going to disrespect
I'm not
Jordan
speaking
Trash
ill
like Michael Jordan
I didn't
jeans.
say shit.
But I kind of got like a different, like.
Bro, he knows those pants are trash. You can't sit there and tell me those pants are
Legend,
banging.
legend, bye.
The bootcut jeans.
It was the style. Everyone had boot cut, flared ass jeans. Oh, you know what?
He still wears them
him.
now. That's what I'm saying.
He said he still wears them though. I'm like, let him do what he does.
Michael Jordan.
But yeah, I would have wanted to see what Kobe was gonna do on the creative side of stuff, just like, and you know, I feel like he was gearing up to like really just make his second run and being like, all right, I'm done with ball, but I'm about to go over here and do this now, and we didn't get a chance to see it. And I you know, it's the same thing. I mean, we lost, like, for me, I was like, damn, we lost two.
Nip.
We lost two LA Giants, not even within a year, because Nip died in March.
Not even a whole year.
It hadn't even been a year, bro, and we lost two LA Giants, bro. It's just like, damn, man, like, stop taking our black leaders, bro. Like, And I know
Crazy.
it's just it just sucks, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the biggest thing I'm taking from this is like, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, it's like what's gonna be your mark when you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like in my opinion, it's like yeah, he was 40, he was young, and he had like, he should have had a lot of life left to live. But like, look at what he did in those 40 years. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Half
he
his
lived.
life.
He lived an intense amount of life. Some people live to 40 and haven't even left the block.
That's
That
facts.
is facts.
Some people, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the things that he did while he was here was incredible. Within a span of 40 years, the impact he has, the places he's gone, the things he's done. And that just came back to like, you know, like what's everybody, you know, and that's what it just comes back to. Like, what are you going to do to like leave your mark? How are you going to affect people? It can be 10 people or it can be the whole world, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, because that's what keeps you living. You know, that idea that you left behind, whether you were a peacekeeper, the whole, you know, the Mamba mentality, like that, his train of thought and his work ethic has like ignited so many other people to go that extra mile.
Wow.
Like how you guys were saying, like he first one to come, last one to leave, you know, how are you going to put that work in? How are you going to leave your mark? And that's really what it's like been coming down to for me is like, damn, like he was 40, but like the impact he's leaving with everybody, these great things that everybody has to say, the short film that he made, that's really just like what it feels like to love something with the entirety of your heart, to the point where like your heart can still take it and your mind can still take it, but your body is shutting down. And it hurts you to not be able to do it anymore. But it's just dope. Like the ideas,
How he
the
was able to
mentality,
translate that into a film.
translate everything that he is and what he's made.
And he said he wrote that. He wrote both of those poems. He wrote the first draft.
Dear basketball.
Yeah, the Dear
Uh-huh.
Basketball. He wrote the first one, and he said he like wrote the second one right after, and he did it in 30 minutes.
Damn.
So tight.
And he was like, you know, he was on a plane, I think. He said he was on a plane, and he just wrote it in 30 seconds, and it was just like, 30 minutes. Wrote the first one, wrote the second one. He was like, and the second one, he was like, I think I'm going to use this one. And that ended up being Dear Basketball. And I thought that, like I said, it just showed. He said he like, you know, one of the things is he likes to write. So like, I'm now more curious on what he was working on, like writing wise, and it goes back to the rap thing. Like he was trying to rap, and
I really wish we could have heard what he was trying to convey
They-
without the stupid label. Labels ruin so much shit.
that
And
is-
P.S. He did a song with Run DMC that was never released. I read
He
as
did?
well. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I just read that today that they recorded something. They flew out here. They were in the studio. It's an unfinished song, but who knows? Maybe somebody will
Yeah,
find that.
maybe
That'd be
someone
sick.
one of my
Do a
favorite commercials is definitely
posthumous.
where he sons Kanye.
Oh,
I was
that's-
gonna say
For the
the
Kobe
Nike
system?
commercial, like, what
Yeah.
does that
That
mean?
was so good.
Fucking
He was-
That was like,
Kobe
Yeah,
Bryant.
it was like he said.
that was
He was like,
good
"How
defense.
successful do you have to be? More successful.
How many records do
Do
you
I
want
have
me
to
to
break? More records." He was like, bro, he was like,
Yeah.
"Kobe, I'm the best."
But are you the same?
He's, "Are you the different?" He's,
are
"Are
you a
you
different
animal,
but the
same
same
beast?" What the fuck does
What
that
are you
mean?
talking about, Kobe Bryant?
And then he just stops and goes, "You're welcome."
I forgot.
Oh,
I
that
think I was
campaign
trying
was
to
so
think about.
incredible.
Yeah,
And then he had the
I
photo in the
remember.
studio with the power photo they took is like Swizz, Ye, Most Def, and Kobe just like
Yeah.
posted
Yeah.
right
Like, in the
there. Like,
corner.
what?
And I was gonna say, I'm curious to know, like, would he go to the studio to like just get inspiration, like just to sit there and see how? Because that's what he would do for basketball. Like he would just go and do random shit like that. I think that is like, that's just elite to me. Like I'm gonna go watch somebody bake, like, like,
Yeah, it's so random.
and figure out how to incorporate that into my
I
game.
wish I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, was he trying to study up on it, or like, I don't know.
Was he in there writing raps? Like,
Yeah. What?
He's really the ghostwriter.
And then so many people honored him when he left the game. Kendrick, he did that whole video.
Kendrick did the whole
Mhm.
thing.
He was just like, damn, like, if you're not from LA, you'll never
Don't
understand.
understand.
And that's some real shit. I love that video. Fabulous also did that song, the Black Mamba song.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. I
Fab.
thought you would have of all people.
Thanks.
I mean, it's funny because I do listen to Fab a lot. But I don't know,
Ice
I've heard
Cube, Nip. Yeah, man. That shit was crazy. I would love to. I think, this was a heartbreaker I read. that Ice Cube. You saw that shit.
Text
He
him?
was texting me.
I
He's like, I didn't want to
know.
believe it.
Oh.
So I texted myself, waiting to get a response.
He
hoping
never got a
Damn,
response.
that's
I was like-
shit.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
Shaq.
I know that.
The
feeling.
Shaq
Holy
one,
shit.
my goodness, Shaq like 7 minutes and he just went in, and then like they thought he was done. He's like, nah, let me finish. I gotta say, like I joke around a lot, but I'm going through some shit. Like he lost his sister or his somebody else recently, and it's just like he's like, I just lost another one, a little brother, and I was like,
Yeah.
So
There-
sad.
I used to call him Shakobe.
Mm.
Like those years
Shakobe.
were
Shakobe.
so
Those
fucking
are
prime.
Iconic, yeah.
Kobe was
sick.
always just like, you'd be like down 10 and have a minute left, and you're like, nah, we can still do it. And he sometimes
And
would, and you would just, I would lose my
The
shit.
game was never
Was it like the
over when Kobe
0.4
was
second, or
playing,
was that
like-
Derek Fisher? I can't ever remember, but I know
Derek
that.
Fisher did that one.
What was the one that he did? It was like 1 second left or some shit, and I was like,
He did that a lot
I
though.
know.
All
Every
the
other
fucking
game.
time. And that's what,
And
okay,
his
I don't even
long
want to talk shit about
jumpers,
LeBron.
He would
Yeah.
make the jumpers that you're just like,
I don't want to talk shit about
no one
LeBron,
should.
but I'm finally like accepting him, especially after all this. But that's one thing that I feel like differentiates Kobe from LeBron. LeBron like gets kind of scared sometimes to take
he
those
does.
final shots.
I don't know though. I mean, I feel like honestly, I feel like LeBron, he gonna have it. He just has it worse because not only did I went to get my haircut, my barber was like, man, he was like, he was joking, but he's a comedian, by the way. Shout out Eddie. Anyways, he was like, yo, Kobe killed himself, man. He said because when LeBron mentioned that he passed Kobe for the all-time scoring thing.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Philly.
He was like, he was like,
I'm out.
Kobe was
Mama
like, you
out.
know what? I'm gonna immortalize myself now. Like he said, but I think LeBron does have like a lot more pressure to,
Elevate.
like big shoes to fill because like if he doesn't win the championship now, he's gonna hear that for the rest of his life. Like, and I mean, so I got respect for LeBron, bro. Like I don't.
I do now. I was like, this put things in
Now.
perspective. I could not stand him, and I couldn't accept him on our team. But now, you know what? Fuck
I've
it.
always loved LeBron,
Yeah,
by the
no,
way.
I
think
just,
he's a good person that like obviously he's a great basketball player.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I think he's made moves that people don't understand
Stand.
always and yeah.
I think honestly, like as far as what LeBron's doing off the court, is
Yeah, he
like I haven't seen any basketball players do anything like what he's doing off the court. But a lot of those things that he's doing, like a lot of these basketball players, they be having conversations with Kobe. Like he
So
reached
many.
he reached out to he would reach out to like even the younger ones like Sharif O'Neal. Like
Mhm.
he be talking to all those guys, just tap in like what's good. Like
That
the
was
fact
one of
that
his
you get a
last
message from
texts.
Kobe
I
that says what's good, bro.
know.
Like
Just to be like, how are you doing?
Right.
Like that's a
Yeah,
solid
that's
ass
a big
dude.
deal. Yeah.
No, but going back to what you said about wanting to be immortalized, did you see that Tracy McGrady interview where he was like, yeah, I know this is going to sound weird, but Kobe used to talk about
Dying
wanting
early?
to die young because he wanted to be better than Jordan. He wanted to be immortalized. And it's just like, so creepy, man. I don't
That's
like
weird.
that. I don't like that. And this was obviously before he had his wife and his daughters, but it's like, damn, the power of words. I always freak out. I'm
That's
like, I'm not
scary.
saying anything I don't want to happen because shit could happen, like materialize. But yeah, that was creepy. I saw that on Twitter like 2
Yeah.
days ago and was like, damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So
I don't
One
have-
other Kobe song that, like, I don't know if you guys know who Sho Baraka is, but he had one called Kobe Bryant on him.
Oh yeah.
And that was so good.
Oh, and Chief
like,
Keef.
and oh yeah, Chief Keef has his too. But like I know Sho's from LA originally, and just I don't know, these artists really like connected with him. Especially like I don't know, Sho just is very authentic in his art, and like he did an Instagram video explaining how Kobe impacted him. And I think even kind of Andrea, what you were saying, he reconnected with people that he kind of wasn't in contact with after Kobe died. And yeah, he really impacted people. And listen to Kobe Bryant on him if you haven't yet.
honestly.
Man, they said, oh yeah. By the way, I mean, there's one of the classic lines, which is probably not the best Kobe line, but I mean, it's. I mean, It was on Stay Scheming. Drake, bitch, you wasn't shooting me. You wasn't shooting me
in
in the
the
gym.
gym.
And then they said they asked Drake in that recent
I
interview about that,
know.
and he was like, they said, did you hear any? They said, did you get any backlash from him? He said, yeah, actually,
Vanessa
he
reached
said
out.
Vanessa reached out.
I did not know
Said
that.
Vanessa reached out, and and basically
She
told
didn't
him like she didn't
appreciate
You
appreciate
better
it.
check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Drake. Oh man, that guy.
But
Drake, your fave.
I don't have anything else to say about. I just it just sucks. I'm glad that he got a chance to like actually finish the sport, and we got a chance to see him walk away from it.
On his own terms.
On his own
Yeah, on
terms.
his own terms.
Literally with 60 points in the game on his own terms.
That time I saw the last game, yo, when Jack Nicholson and everyone started like giving their farewells, I cried. There's no way I was out.
Everybody was there.
There's
That
no
was
way I was
crazy.
gonna watch that shit
was a
again. They
that was
re-aired
a
that. I was like,
sports
nah, I love
moment.
myself too much. I'm not
That was
watching
a
this again.
Anybody
I will
who was
remember
anybody
those.
was literally there. Like that shit was crazy.
I wish I could have been there.
And I'm actually looking just at like references from hip hop. Him and Kanye had like a real relationship. They're really homies. And I mean, Kanye's dropped it, like, got a lot of lines that
Walking, living, legend.
Man, I feel like
Kobe.
Kobe.
Skepta even shouted him out on,
He even made a
on our
shirt.
last episode.
Yeah, he
He
even
went
made
out of his way and made
a
a
shirt.
Dang.
That is.
Icon.
And I bought that and got it for the homegirl for her birthday. Like,
Aw, that's nice
So
of you.
she still got it actually. But yeah, he
You
made a
better.
Hey, you think I can get that shirt back?
Oh.
Esco, I need that shirt back.
Oh man. But yeah,
So yeah.
he was on all that.
Yeah,
All that. He was on Moesha. He was on Sister Sister.
Oh yeah, he was on Sister Sister.
Sister
Yeah.
Sister.
That's a great show.
Yeah, man, he's really just a cultural icon.
Everything.
Too bad.
So yeah.
Wrap up.
gotta wrap
R.I.P.
it up.
Kobe. It's about that time. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Thank you, Mr. Drolix. DJ
Holding it
Drolix
down.
helps us out every
Drop
time.
top
Mr. Drolix.
I didn't mean to call you Mr. Drolix on the air, so that's why I was like,
It's
shit.
out of love.
Drop
Nah,
top
I like
Drizzy.
Drop top.
Drop top Drolix.
Hey, what's your handle, Drolix? At DJ_Drolix. I was about to say Grolix.
DRAULIKZ.
That's it.
Hottest motherfucker on the ones and twos.
Back.
Get the check in.
Say that shit again.
That's his drop.
All right. So
Overly Conversated. Y'all know what it is.
Thank y'all for listening.
Thank y'all for listening.
Good to be back.
we wanted to do 8 seconds of silence in memory of Kobe.
So yeah, tell me when to go. No, where to E40.